Hello, welcome back, everybody. I hope you're doing fantastic. Let's start back where we left it last time. In order to regulate an emotional difficulty, first step is you've got to feel an emotion. Realize that you feel an emotion, even a small, disruptive emotion. The next step is going to be to close your eyes. You did that already. Today we're going to focus on the third step, which is to pay attention to your physical sensations. Let me ask you, how do you realize that you're anxious, for example? How do you know that you feel anxious? Think about it for a little bit. How do you realize that you feel anxious? How do you realize that you feel angry? Think about it. How do you know that? How do you know you feel angry? Well, I don't know if you came up to this conclusion, but the reason we know that we feel upset or anxious is because we feel it in our body. You will notice next time that you realize that you feel anxious because right here and right then you're having physical sensations in your body. And that's the way that emotion works, actually. We don't know much about emotion. We don't. The field of neuroscience, when it comes down to emotion, is very young still. There are different schools, different ideas, different theories. One thing that most scientists agree is that emotion comes first through the body. The way that emotion works is through first a set of physical sensations. For example, throat is dry, belly sick, legs are weak. And when our intellect cannot manage, cannot stop this set of physical sensations, that's when an emotion exists. I'll give you an example. Let's say you and I, we go for a hike. We go for a hike, and at some point, we stop to chat in front of a bush, a big bush. All of a sudden, the bush moves, getting our attention. We look at the bush, and out of the bush come out a tiny little mouse, a tiny little prairie dog like this. And this tiny mouse is running from my feet, through your feet. You see the mouse, you don't think twice about it. You think it's cute, you're smiling, and you forget about it. Me on the other side, on the other hand, I'm afraid of mice. And when I see the mouse, as soon as I see the mouse, I freak out. What is happening here? Well, for you, you see the mouse and nothing is triggered in your body. You see the mouse for what it is. A tiny little animal who's not going to hurt you or me. You're fine. Nothing is happening. Me on the other side, as soon as I see the mouse, even before I can recognize it's a mouse, my body is overloaded with physical sensations. For example, I got a poignant headache, my heart is beating, and my plexus is tensing. And even if I see the mouse and I realize intellectually very clearly that this mouse is not dangerous at all, even if I understand intellectually that this mouse is no threat at all, that doesn't stop the physical sensations in my body. The physical sensation starts screaming in my body. And that's when an emotion exists. An emotion, all it is an intellectual interpretation of physical sensations. Think about it. You see, from what we understand, so far. Those emotional responses that we have, any kind of emotional responses that we have in our life, are stored, come from a part of our brain called the archaic brain. Some will call it the limbic system. When the limbic system recognizes something contextual, environmental, that the limbic associate to a danger, the limbic system is going to send information to the body through the endocrine system, through the muscular system. So the limbic system, right, which is a part of our brain that don't think but just react, recognize something that it perceives as a danger. It is not an actual danger. It perceives it as a danger. As soon as this happens, automatically it sends a message to the body under the shape of physical sensations. Once the limbic sends physical sensations to the body to alert our awareness that according to him there is a danger, once the sensations come into the body, they cannot be overruled by our intellect. That's why you can go for years and years in therapy, or you can talk about your problem again and again and again, or you can try to talk yourself out of an emotion for years. It will not stop the emotional pattern. It will not stop the pattern. You see, there is no link. There is no connection between our intellectual mind, our thought process, and our limbic system. There is no connection here. There is no link between our thought process and the place where emotions are stored. No intellectual link. Trying to talk yourself out of an emotion or trying to understand intellectually an emotion is like you're trying to speak Chinese to a French guy. It will never connect. Never, ever. We know that, at least neurobiologically. That's a fact. That is a cold fact. You cannot talk yourself out of an emotion. Or nobody can, as a matter of fact. That can help you to control an emotion. That can help you to ignore an emotion. That can give you an idea of why you're feeling an emotion. But that will not heal the emotion. The fact to understand where an emotion comes from, the fact to trying to talk yourself out of an emotion will not heal the emotional reaction. However, the physical sensations that we feel during an emotion create a direct and clean path to the origin of our emotional difficulties. So I'm going to repeat that. The physical sensations that we feel during an emotion create a clear and direct path to the origin of our emotional difficulty. And the fact to follow this path, the fact to follow those physical sensations, will allow the brain to regulate our emotional difficulty once and for all. You know, when you're going to feel an emotion and close your eyes and pay attention to your physical sensations, you will not have to look for those sensations. Those sensations are going to jump to your mind. It's going to be in your shoulder or in your belly, in your esophagus, in your legs, in your arm, in your mouth, in your head. Those physical sensations will be there. It is because you're having physical sensations that you're feeling an emotion. If you're feeling an emotion, you obviously are having physical sensations. If not, you will not feel an emotion. So when you're going to pay attention to your physical sensations, you're going to pay attention to two physical sensations. Okay? You feel an emotion that you don't like. You close your eyes and you're going to pay attention to two physical sensations. That's it. That's your homework for next time. When you're going to feel an emotion that you don't like, high or low, simply close your eyes and pay attention to two sensations in your body. And I see you in a few days. Have a wonderful day and have fun. You know, if you go to the end of those videos, you are taking responsibility for your emotional well-being. You have the complete power to resolve your emotional difficulties. Nobody other than you can do it. And if you apply what you listen, what you hear in those videos, you will be able to do it. Good luck. I'll see you in a few days.